Imagine sitting in a courtroom where a witness answers every question calmly, never raises their voice, and never openly denies a single fact. Yet, by the end of the trial, that same witness has completely lost credibility, not because of what they said, but because of what they failed to say. Today, we examine a fictional criminal case that explores one of the most important concepts in cross-examination, the legal difference between a contradiction and an omission. It was a rainy Thursday evening when emergency responders arrived at a fire inside an abandoned warehouse. The flames were quickly controlled. Inside a locked office, investigators discovered the body of warehouse manager Daniel Mercer. Forensic examination later revealed that the victim had died before the fire began. Someone had deliberately started the fire after the death, apparently hoping to destroy evidence. The investigation had only just begun. Investigators soon identified 3 people who had been near the warehouse that evening. One employee, Ethan Brooks, admitted visiting the building to collect company records. A security guard confirmed seeing Ethan enter and leave. A delivery contractor reported unusual activity near the warehouse later that evening. At first, every statement appeared consistent. However, experienced investigators noticed something unusual. Each answer seemed carefully limited. No witness appeared to volunteer information beyond the exact question asked. Detectives reconstructed the timeline using electronic access records, mobile phone location data, and nearby surveillance footage. Ethan's access card showed that he entered the warehouse during the late afternoon. The victim's access card recorded no exit. Investigators interviewed Ethan several times. Although his answers remained almost identical, they lacked important details. Nothing he said appeared obviously false. Yet something significant seemed to be missing. The investigation expanded when maintenance technician Rachel Doyle came forward. She reported seeing Ethan speaking with Daniel Mercer inside the office shortly before the estimated time of death. This account differed from Ethan's repeated claim that Daniel was not present. The disagreement immediately raised an important legal question. Was Ethan contradicting himself, or had he merely omitted important facts during earlier interview? Forensic specialists recovered partially burned financial documents from the office. Digital investigators restored deleted company emails, revealing disputes over missing inventory. Investigators also discovered Ethan's fingerprints on a coffee cup inside Daniel's office. The defense argued that Ethan had already admitted visiting the warehouse. His fingerprints alone proved only that he had been present. The physical evidence required careful interpretation alongside the witness testimony. The trial reached its most significant moment during cross-examination. The prosecutor questioned Ethan about his earlier police interviews. She pointed out that his original statements never mentioned entering the office, meeting Daniel Mercer, or discussing company finances. She then explained an important legal distinction. A contradiction occurs when 2 statements cannot both be true. An omission occurs when relevant information is left out of an earlier statement. Not every omission proves dishonesty. People may forget details or answer only the specific questions asked. However, repeated omissions concerning important facts may affect the credibility of a witness. The court must evaluate those omissions in the context of all the available evidence. Let's review today's legal terms. Cross-examination is a questioning of a witness by the opposing party to test the reliability of their testimony. A contradiction exists when 2 statements are directly inconsistent. An omission occurs when relevant information is left out of a statement. Credibility refers to the trustworthiness of a witness. Corroboration means independent evidence that supports testimony. Circumstantial evidence consists of facts that allow reasonable conclusions to be drawn, even without direct proof of the criminal act. Understanding these concepts helps explain why careful questioning is essential in every criminal trial. Further forensic analysis revealed that another individual had entered the warehouse after Ethan had already left. Additional digital evidence connected that individual to the financial irregularities under investigation. Although Ethan's earlier statement contained important omissions and raised questions about his credibility, the complete body of evidence demonstrated that he was not responsible for Daniel Mercer's death. The investigation eventually identified the true offender through forensic and digital evidence rather than witness testimony alone. This fictional case reminds us that criminal investigations depend on careful analysis rather than assumptions. A contradiction and an omission are not the same. A contradiction involves 2 statements that cannot both be true. An omission involves leaving out information that may later become important. Neither automatically proves guilt. Courts consider the entire body of evidence before reaching conclusion. Cross-examination exists not to confuse witnesses, but to test the accuracy, completeness, and reliability of their testimony. In criminal law, justice is achieved when every statement is measured against the evidence, and every conclusion is supported by facts rather than suspicion.